Hey YouTube, I'm back and I'm very excited for today's video because today I'm going to show you guys how to make a giant toaster strudel. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. How did I even come up with this idea? And it's really simple, honestly. I was eating a toaster strudel and I thought, what if I were to replicate this except make it really, really big? Bigger than average at least. So that's what I'm going to try to do today. I'm going to be honest, I've actually never done this in my entire life. Because who would even want to make a giant toaster strudel? Well, I would, of course. Me, you know. I'm very excited to see how this goes. I'm pretty sure it's gonna come out great. That's what I'm aiming for. Positive mindset. So we'll just see how that goes. If you want to learn how to make a giant toaster strudel for a party or just to eat by yourself on a Friday night, then keep watching. So first things first, I'm going to show you guys the ingredients you need in order to complete our giant toaster strudel. For our dough, you're going to need some type of puff pastry dough. You can always use your own recipe if you have one, but just for the sake of saving time, energy, and of course a big mess, I just went with the store-bought one. The second thing you're going to need is of course your ingredients for your filling. You can always make your own filling, but I'm just going to go with jam that comes in a bottle. This is strawberry, but you can always use your own. You could use blueberry, whatever you like. I was actually considering making my own jam, but who has time for that? I know I don't, I know you don't, so we're just not gonna do that. The third thing you're gonna need is, of course, powdered sugar. Now the powdered sugar is for our topping, the frosting that goes on top. A little bit of milk, which yes, is in a shot glass. So the final thing we're going to need is an egg that is trying to roll away from me. You need an egg because we're going to whisk this together and use this as an egg wash for our toaster pastry so that it comes out nice and golden brown. I think I just cracked my egg. Okay guys, so that's it for our ingredients. Now let's get started on assembling our toaster strudel.
Alrighty guys, so don't mind the horrible quality of voiceover, but the first thing you're going to want to do to assemble our toaster strudel is of course have your dough and a baking sheet. You then need to get some type of cooking spray so that we can spray our baking sheet so that our beautiful dough does not stick to it. And now you could set that aside and begin to unroll your dough from the package. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of flour and just flour the surface of my counter, and I'm going to grab my dough. There we go. I'm going to grab my dough and begin to just put that against the counter and, you know, get my rolling pin that magically appeared and flour that too so that nothing sticks to it, and just start rolling my dough out. You want to be switching sides just to get an even square, or at least semi-even. So this is the finished product, and now I'm just putting it onto my baking sheet and kind of, you know, fixing it, making sure there's no air bubbles. So now I'm going to begin to actually fill my toaster strudel. But before I can do that, I'm going to give myself an outline on the dough so I know not to pass a certain point, because you don't want to fill it too far to the sides or else stuff will start oozing out. So now I'm just filling it. Really filling it. Okay, yeah. Now with my broken spatula, I'm just gonna spread it. Don't mind my sister sneezing. Now I'm adding more jam because I guess that wasn't enough. Okay, even more jam. Why not? You know what? Let's get a little wild and add some more jam. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing I did with my first piece of dough. I'm just rolling it out, and now I'm just going to place it on top of the other one. Boom. Now I'm just patting that down. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a really big knife and chop everything up. Just kidding. I'm going to grab a knife and just cut the edges just so that it has a clean cut look, because toaster strudels do not look that messy on the edges. Now that it's done, I'm just going to go in with my fingers and just tighten in the edges so that nothing oozes out. And now I pulled out a toaster strudel just to try to replicate like the little patterns you see on the front. So I just went in with the knife and started making the little lines, the little indentations that I see. I also noticed there's some holes, so I tried to copy that and went in with a fork. Now I'm just going in with the big knife just to make holes for ventilation. Alrighty, so this is a finished product. As you can see, that's a toaster strudel and my toaster strudel. Now I'm just cracking an egg into a little bowl and I'm going to begin to whisk it. And whisk it some more. And whisk it a little more. And now I'm going to grab a little paintbrush thing and just, give my toaster strudel a little egg wash. So now you're going to put that in the oven for 400 degrees for about 10 minutes or until golden brown. In the meantime, just hang around, take a drink, pretend like you know how to dance, play with your dough scraps, make it rain dough scraps, or pretend like you're an NBA star. So this is me realizing that my dough puffed up way too much and now I'm just poking holes in it, hoping that it goes down. And yeah, it's ready.
So my toaster strudel came out the oven and I'm not sure what to say. I don't know why I'm so surprised if I did use puff pastry. Puff pastry puffs a lot, no matter how thin you roll it out. So I think that's why my toaster strudel is super, super puffy. In the meantime, we're just gonna work on our frosting and let that cool down.
So I didn't measure this, I just kind of went based off of the consistency. So to the powdered sugar, I added, the shot of milk, and I started whisking it until I felt like it was right, which it wasn't. It was way too watery. So just to make sure, I actually grabbed a packet of the toaster strudel frosting and started kind of going back and forth trying to get the consistency right. And I kept adding more powdered sugar until I felt like it was right. And since I didn't have vanilla extract, I actually added maple syrup. And then from there, I just kind of gave up and started adding a bunch of random stuff to it. I added jelly and started mixing it. Then I tasted it and I was like, it's not that bad. Let me add some more because, I love my jelly. And kept whisking it until I finally got the right consistency. So now I'm just using a spatula to detach my toaster strudel from my pan. And now I put it onto another pan and I'm getting a Ziploc bag right now to add my frosting to. The reason I did this is so that I could pipe it, I guess you can say, onto my toaster strudel just like you would with the regular ones. And now I'm trying to snip the edge, which I couldn't do, and I got really upset and it started dripping everywhere. But yeah, so now we can make our little fancy toaster strudel design. I tried going for, the classic design, but then I realized my frosting was too watery and I just kind of, screw it. Let me just, just put a little more and squeeze that there and boom. So this is the final product. As you can see, I'm comparing a regular toaster strudel to the one I made. I think they look pretty similar. Do they taste the same? Who knows? But I think I did a pretty good job.
Hey guys, so I actually finished my toaster strudel. I did have a side-by-side comparison. So this is what it looks like. I'm trying to hold it so that it doesn't fall. Honestly, I don't know what to say. Did it come out how I expected it? No. Am I surprised? No. Am I gonna share this with anyone? No. So, I mean, honestly, so the only thing that's really left to do now is try it. So, well, this is really hot. Super flimsy. I'm gonna do this. Oh god. Don't do that because it just dripped everywhere. I'm actually gonna cut into this. Okay, so this is how it came out. It is super thin. I didn't think it'd be that thin. So, this is honestly not bad. Honestly, you can't go very wrong with this recipe because you're just putting whatever it is you like in it. Would I make this again? Probably. Okay guys, so that's it for today's video. I really hoped you guys liked it. Even though it didn't necessarily come out as I wanted it to or expected it to, it's still really tasty. It's a bit messy, but hey, I mean, sometimes the funnest things to do or make are always the messiest. I honestly had fun making this. It was pretty simple to make. You know, not that much ingredients you need. This is the first time I did it, and I was actually just kind of winging it as I was recording. So I really hope you guys like this video. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any other suggestions of videos you guys want to see me do, comment and I will do my best to try to do them. And of course, if you want to see more of me, please subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.